This video is the result of some work that I did the other day with a woman who agreed to set an intention and share it in our work. And the intention that she offered up was perseverance. I love a good play on words, so this got me thinking about a word that I used to hear a lot when I was working in the world of psychiatry, and that word was perseveration. So today we're going to explore the role of perseverance and the trap of perseverating or run on thoughts while we are grieving. Perseverance and perseveration may sound similar. They do make a tongue twister, but they are two distinct concepts, each with significant impact on our lives. Be sure to watch to the end where I make suggestions about how to address those racing thought loops when we're grieving. I'm McRogers, and I'm a psychotherapist that is dedicated to challenging and supporting grief. Grief needs a revolution, so join our Grievolution. I've left a link below if you're interested in finding all of the different ways that we could work together, as I have some new options in the works. So first, let's start with some definitions. Perseverance means to continue determinedly. Perseverance is a vital aspect of our personal development, and it is often seen as a key factor in achieving success. When we persevere, we demonstrate the characteristics of determination, resilience, and a positive attitude towards the outcome and challenges. This positive mindset can help us to overcome obstacles and reach a desired outcome. This is the key element. Perseverance is goal-oriented. We know what we are aiming to accomplish through our efforts. There can be a positive outcome from this demonstration of strength, determination, and perseverance. Perseveration, on the other hand, is a challenging aspect of human behavior. Perseveration refers to those repetitive thoughts or loops or behaviors that are not goal-directed, and they can interfere with our daily functioning. It's like a free fall of thoughts that never end. They can then lead to behaviors that might become time-consuming and exhausting, and they can negatively impact our daily life. When we are grieving, it is important to be aware of a goal or a desired outcome of our efforts, our strength, and our processing. The goal could be as simple as doing things that would support my physical health. It could be to reduce a sense of isolation while still allowing for time to not have to be with people. It could be to try and regulate the sleep time versus the amount of time that we spend in bed. It could be to address the overwhelm of grief through returning to the most simple tasks of grief: breathing, hydrating, nourishing, and sleeping. Grief is so emotional, our brains often try to make it intellectual, and this presents puzzles to be solved. But grief is not to be solved, it is meant to be experienced. I call it sitting in the shit. Perseverance has momentum and is goal-related. Perseverating is fearful and not goal-related. When we are grieving, there are multiple invitations to ask questions to which there are no concrete answers. The what-ifs, the should-haves, the could-haves, the if-only. Each of these are normal, natural questions to ask, but they fuel what is called hindsight bias, which is what I had described in a video that I'll queue up to watch after this one. These questions likely serve a strong role in the shock and trauma stage. They replay scenarios, they make flashbacks, we rehash conversations and decisions and behaviors. I believe there likely isn't any way to avoid these questions in early days of grief. This may be the function of negativity bias. Negativity bias is a heightened awareness and experience of the negatives around you. As a species, this is how we've survived, with a heightened awareness and reactivity to threats. And grief is so full of threats. So the invitation to perseverating is grand. The trick, however, about perseverating is that it goes beyond a desired point, past the point where it plays any role. It risks going from a reaction to grief to becoming a pattern of grief. Perseverating holds us in a reaction pattern, and we then can't begin to formulate a response. Check out this video where I talk about reaction versus response. So what to do about these run-on intrusive thoughts? Well, first, we need to acknowledge that we are perseverating because it can feel like we are persevering. Ask yourself if this line of thought is problem solving or problem generating. Are there actual answers to be had to these questions and these thought loops, or is this a place to keep looping because there aren't actual factual answers available? Next, ask yourself if you have been down this rabbit hole before. Please look behind the thoughts. See if you can identify what the theme might be of these questions and these loops. The loops, the themes behind the flashbacks and the thoughts. When grieving, it's often about guilt, responsibility, control, safety, and regret. If you can identify the themes, you now have vital information in doing your grief work. Asking these questions of yourself, your thoughts, and your behaviors can now lead to a gathered wisdom of how to support your grief. Having a thought and believing that thought are two very different things. Your thoughts are not truths, and your emotions are not facts. Let that sink in a bit. Your thoughts are not truths, and your emotions are not facts. This is especially true in a time of grief. This technique is called cognitive diffusion. It can be so powerful. It helps to insert some learning space between thoughts and our acceptance of them as truths. Practice identifying your thoughts and then practice saying or journaling, I am having this thought about, and then you fill in the blank. And then next, step up your awareness to now say, I notice that I am having this thought, and then fill in the blank. This is the tool of cognitive diffusion. It is a way to look at our thoughts and emotions rather than processing our grief through these thoughts and emotions as solid facts. So please work to separate yourself from the experience of your thoughts by labeling these run-on, perseverating thought loops with the statement, oh look, that's my grief talking. This creates room to have a relationship with those thoughts and our grief and to safely explore the theme that we've identified. It allows us then to identify a goal also, and this can help switch us from perseverating to perseverance. Run-on intrusive thoughts are tricky and deceptive, and there are times when we can do this alone, and then other times we may need to seek support to use this tool. But please know that grief and loss are very loud voices in our heads and in our hearts. I hope that this has been helpful. If you had an aha moment in this video, please share in the comments below, because I can guarantee that you aren't the only one learning how to navigate your grief. Please like and share this video so YouTube knows to send this to anyone seeking support for their grief. And as you work to persevere and not perseverate, I send you kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. Thank you, and I will see you again.